What's up everyone, it's Ruby here, bringing you guys another video. We're continuing the path of doing reaction videos. I have different ideas of what I want to do for reactions. It's not just going to be movie trailers, it's not just going to be game trailers. It's just going to be kind of a mix of a lot of things. And so if you have recommendations, definitely leave them down below and I might react to them. I'm not going to react to everything, but if it's like trailers, concept trailers, game trailers, I may react to them. There are things that I won't react to because of spoilers. But I'm here to deliver. So this time we're going to react to the Batman in Unreal Engine 5. I'm very curious what this is going to look like. This is a fan concept trailer. It's not real. But we're going to look at it and we're going to talk about it as well. So let's do that.
The city streets are crowded for the holiday. Even with the rain. Hidden in the chaos is the element.
Wait, is this in...
Waiting
Okay.
to strike like snakes. And I'm there too.
It needs a little bit more work. I'm not too impressed by this, actually. It's not bad, but I think it could be better.
It turned me into a nocturnal animal.
It's kind of rigid, and it's kind of... the symbols are a little bit weird. But I like the environment around it. I think it could make for a very interesting
It's not just a call.
next-gen Batman game.
It's a warning.
With these graphics, like it could like outperform Arkham Knight. It looks like not as polished as, you know, I have seen some like Gen 5, not Gen 5, I have seen some Unreal Engine 5 concepts that look a lot cleaner, a lot more clean than this. This looks kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it looks kind of bad. I think it could definitely be better. It's like one of those things where it gets into like the uncanny valley, and so every error kind of like stands out more than it would otherwise. It's not... I like the environment. I think the characters need work. I think the characters not great. Like if this were to be in a video game, I would expect it to be a lot more polished. It doesn't... I mean, I think we are pushing towards the point where things are gonna look a little bit too real, and potentially that could change how we see games today. Because once you get into that realness factor, it's a lot more difficult to kind of... Oh, I hit the wrong button. It's a lot more difficult to imagine, like it gets you, it's more jarring when it's something that's supposed to be so real, but it's missing some elements. Now, I think that a remastered Batman series for the next gen using Unreal Engine 5 would actually be really interesting. I mean, they've technically already remastered the game once, but if you get it to the point where it's so polished, so clean, I think there's actually an Unreal Engine 5 for the Arkham Knight, if I remember. I actually want to look at that real quick, because maybe this one wasn't like the best thing. I don't know. This was 2 years ago, so this probably is not it. This is Unreal Engine 4. Oh, there's an Unreal Engine 5 Superman demo. Actually, I want to look at this real quick. Let me see. Let's look at this.
Not long ago, we got The Matrix Awakens, this amazing Unreal 5 tech demo that showed us what was possible with a city environment. And now, modders that are also Superman fans are starting to get to it. Hi folks, it's Mike. Today on Game Mix, we're going to talk about this Unreal Engine 5 Superman demo that is absolutely mind-blowing. So a few days ago, this mod was posted at itch.io by a guy named Tyson Butler.
Oh my gosh.
Simply titled a Superman-style flight experience, and is exactly what it sounds like, a small proof of concept with great potential.
Oh my gosh.
Now, every once in a while, we do see a few homegrown Superman games come out. Like, remember that Undefeated game that came out on Steam a few years back? We talked about that here on this channel, and frankly, it's a really enjoyable experience as well. Hell, modders have been sneaking Superman in games like GTA 5 for quite a while now, and there is very clearly a lot of fan support for a game starring the man of tomorrow. This mod may be the most impressive thing we've seen yet, and that is partially because it uses the visually impressive Unreal Engine 5.
Wow, that actually looks really good. I mean, it could be better.
With a Superman-like model, along with sounds and animations. Now, it's relatively simple, but the results are mind-blowing.
But the animation looks really good. I really like that idea.
And right now, this is probably the closest thing we've got to seeing. Obviously, part of that is that we haven't really seen a Superman game that looks good. We've seen a lot of mods, like I said, but another
Right.
part of it is that it really looks good. The developers being really careful and staying on their itch.io page, this is not actually Superman. For legal reasons, they made sure to make the character generic enough not to
Okay. That makes
but it's
sense.
also clearly meant to show what a Superman can be like, and means
Right.
in such a stunningly detailed environment with, frankly, a pretty good moveset, just leaves us hungry for more. Now, it's interesting because at this point, I've gotten pretty used to the Matrix demo. Like, I played around with it. I've watched a lot of other people glitch it, find little things they can get out of it. There's a particularly interesting video on how to orders you can go check out to see beyond the actual city. I mean, it doesn't yield anything particularly special.
Is this the cape clipping? It's kind of.
While waiting to see when someone would actually make a mod for it, a lot of the reason why people don't.
I think we're getting closer and closer to Superman game being actually viable. And I have had ideas of how to make like a Superman game and actually make it like good and playable and like challenging too, and, like keeping that kind of like difficultness and not having like it be like an OP kind of thing.
Now, it should come as no surprise that the demo is stunning. It uses pretty much every trick in the new Unreal Engine 5 playbook to show what a truly next-gen experience.
Because of course there's a lot more to a Superman game than just the aspect of Superman.
List of systems find world partition, nanite, human, chaos, rule processor, mass AI, Niagara, metahumans, metasounds, and temporal super resolution. I added a ton of buzzwords, but it basically adds up to why Unreal Engine 5 demos look this good and also are able to run at all on modern hardware. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background to get all of this to work. Now, all you can really do is fly around, but the effects combined with the visuals create this really visceral feeling to the experience and flying that very few other games have managed to reach. Like, look at this, it is stunning and it just feels cool as hell. Now, of course, we'd like to be able to do a few more things like use Superman's ice breath or heat vision, just punch someone through a building. It seems like this mod author isn't interested in exploring this any further. It's gonna be likely up to future creators to take the ideas here and expand on them. But the thing that's interesting there is that some guy just basically figured out Superman flight in video games. Again, this is something that many developers have taken on and no
Right.
one has really successfully done. What I would love to see is a proper AAA Superman game.
I definitely think it's possible.
To get armed with these types of mods. So I guess we'll kind of just take it. It's also important to
Right, I get that. Okay, I'm gonna have to see this whole thing up. Okay, so the footage is basically just on loop, but that's okay. I definitely think that we are getting to the point where an Unreal Engine 5 Superman game is 100% viable. I think it's going to happen. I think it can happen. I think it depends on who is writing the scripts and who is making the video game, right? And I don't mean a Telltale version. Like, I'm sure they can make a Telltale game about Superman, but that's not what we're interested in. We're not interested in a Telltale game. We're not interested in a Choices Matter game. We're interested in finding a Superman game that feels a lot like Batman Arkham Knight, right? Or the Batman Arkham series. And I think that there is an answer that would work. Okay? We have so many amazing writers who have written really good Superman stories that challenge the idea of who Superman is, what he is capable of, and proposes some very interesting stories. From Alan Moore to Jeff Johns to Grant Morrison, there's so many great writers that have made really great Superman stories. And Batman stories as well. And I think that in order to make a Superman game feel like a Superman game, get what we want out of a Superman game, which is, like, I know the easy route would be make him evil so that he can just punch people through walls and have no remorse, whatever. Like, basically make The Boys into a video game, right? But that's not really what we want. We want Superman. We want the Man of Steel, the Boy Scout, to be in a video game. So, how do you make that work? How do you make a game where you give people the freedom to explore, but also make sure that Superman can't just go around killing people? Because I guarantee you, if given the possibility, people will try. And there's a few ways you can go about this. You could go the Assassin's Creed route, which is the desynchronization thing, where if you kill enough citizens, if you just assassinate people, it will, you'll be, reloaded, basically. And I think that for a Superman game to really work, if you kill someone, like a person, like a citizen, I think that's a failed mission. That's a failure. So I think Superman would not appreciate that. I feel like that could be like a game over situation. But in that sense, it could get a little bit frustrating if you accidentally kill someone and then it reloads on you. So, there is kind of that problem. I mean, you could go the Arkham Knight route where the city, for some reason, Metropolis has to clear out, and so that there's only bad guys, and so at least that there is kind of that viable scenario of needing to go city, trying to round up the bad guys, basically. But I also think that's a little bit too much of a cop-out. I feel like in order to be a Superman game, we need people to save. We need to be able to save people. We need, random acts of violence where we have to go rescue somebody in the city. But I'll also not have it seem like a chore and not get in the way of the actual story. So that's a little bit complicated. I mean, can we successfully achieve all of those elements? I don't know. I think it depends on the story. I think if we open up as Superman, where, I think we open up as Clark Kent. I think opening up as Clark Kent at the Daily Planet, we're writing an article, we're working on our thing, we have a little cinematic, and then at some point we hear someone call for help. And so we have to transition into Superman without getting caught and fly out of the window to go save that person. I think we could have X-ray vision could just be like detective vision, basically, where you see kind of the skeletons and everything. Like, we could go that approach, I suppose. heat vision could be part of kind of a combo set, kind of maybe like have like a power button, have like RBB power, and so that like I don't know. You could go like a Spider-Man route where it kind of explains why no one is dead for you. Like, if you like punch someone off the ledge at the last second, Spider-Man will like shoot out webs and attach them to the building. Like, you could have like an animation where like if someone if he punches someone and they go flying off the building, he goes to save them really quick and then goes back to what he was doing. Like, you could have those little details. In terms of enemies, Brainiac would be a very good one, where it's not it has like that challenge of a fight. It's not too big of an opponent, and I think that it could very well work. And then of course you would have the Superman's Rogue Gallery. You have Metallo. You have Parasite, you have Livewire, you have a lot of different people who can be those villains, and you could set up scenarios and little missions for them. And I think seeing the flight in Unreal Engine 5, it makes more sense that at some point we will be able to kind of see those powers really come to life. It definitely is a difficult feat, and I don't envy anyone who has to work on that. You could technically make a story based off All-Star Superman, or maybe you can make a story. I think, potentially speaking, in order to get to a Superman game, it could possibly be more of a story-driven game, where there's a lot more cinematics, but you still feel like Superman in some instances. It could still be kind of open world, but not have it be to where you can just fly anywhere. Or, I don't know. I definitely think that people would probably want it to be more open world because, you want to be able to fly around and be Superman. Also, what's also probably interesting would be a Superman VR game. Although that would probably cause more headaches than not, so I don't know. In terms of what I think a superhero that would actually work in a video game, though, to some extent, would be Green Lantern. I feel like Green Lantern could actually work. I don't know. I can definitely see the challenges because it's easier said than done. Like, how are you really going to design a Superman game? I mean, flying physics is fine. We figured that out. We figured out flying physics. But we haven't really figured out a scenario where that doesn't result in people just killing everybody. Or trying to, I mean, maybe you have limited abilities because Superman wouldn't really use them all the time, and then maybe you get to a point where you're fighting Brainiac, and now he uses all of his powers. Now he uses his heat vision, his ice breath. It could very well just lock you out of using those abilities. But the question is whether or not that would feel as rewarding, as great as just being able to kind of make the decisions on your own. That's definitely a difficult question. I mean, what do you guys think? Comment down below. What would you want to see in a Superman game? How do you think a Superman game could be made? And what do you think of these 4K, Unreal Engine 5 videos? I definitely think I have seen better. I definitely think that we're getting to a point where it's uncanny valley, right? Yes, these graphics are amazing, but it's because if they're so amazing, it's the errors that are going to stick out, because it's it feels off, it feels weird, it doesn't feel like this is real, because I know it's not real. Like, there are some things where it gets so real that, like, I thought, like, it's a movie, right? But we're not at that point yet. And I'm very interested to see how they do a Wonder Woman game. I'm very excited for the Wonder Woman game. Because I know it was teased that Monolith is making a Wonder Woman game. If I had to pick right now which studio I would trust to make a Superman game, I mean, I suppose it would have to be WB Games, but I mean, maybe not. If it was like an existing like dev team that could make a Superman game, I feel like I feel like Rockstar could actually do it. Not Rocksteady, but Rockstar. Because they do have, like, the ability to make those games that feel unique. Because they made, like, you know, Bully, and they made Grand Theft Auto, which are two very different games. And I think if Rockstar, like, worked with WB, I feel like they could make, like, a really good Superman game. I think they really could. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below what other reactions you want me to, or what other things you want me to react to. I'll consider it. I won't guarantee it, but I'll consider it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for coming by. Hope you guys in the future, and peace out, guys. It's been a blast. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.